Later this week, Michigan's largest suicide conference will get underway. For the second year in a row, it'll be virtual. Kevin's Song is a conference that draws a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. It draws people that work in the field of suicide prevention. It also draws in people that have been touched directly by the loss of a loved one to suicide. Joining us right now, one of the participants in this weekend's conference, the free Saturday Survivor program portion of it, joining us right now to talk more about the conference and about her participation in it is Toya Bond. Toya, good morning, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
An event like this that brings people together that all have something in common, where they've been touched by suicide, this kind of a support group like that is very important, isn't it?
It's very supportive and it's very therapeutic in the healing for those individuals who have lost someone to suicide.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what's going to be going on in the portion that you're going to be participating in on Saturday.
Well, on Saturday, I will be participating in the suicide loss survivors portion of it. And there are 4 of us who have been directly impacted by suicide. We all have lost someone very dear and close to us by suicide. And we're going to tell our stories and we're going to help people understand the warning signs, what to look for, and just ways that we can come together to heal ourselves in such pain.
If you could, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your story and how this all came into your life.
Well, this all came into my life on the morning of March 2nd of 2020. My father was involved in a murder-suicide. He took his own life moments after he murdered his own wife. They both died by gunshot, and I received the news in the middle of the night, and it was completely devastating. My father was a wonderful person. He was very, very successful in the field of radio, TV broadcasting, and no one saw this coming. The couple had only been married for 9 months, and by all outward appearances, they were happy. They were in love. They attended a church service the day prior to the incident. So we don't know why this happened.
What has helped you in these couple of years since then, Toya?
The main thing that has helped me, I started a podcast in honor of my father. My father, again, I'll say he was a radio, TV broadcast engineer, and he used to host a radio show many years ago called Speaking of Sports. So I developed a podcast in his memory entitled Speaking of Love. So every Saturday, I interview people from all around the world, different walks of life, for the sole purpose of spreading love in his honor. And I will just say that the therapy that I need and the medication that I need to heal from his loss, my podcast is that therapy. So every Saturday when I'm on the airways and I'm speaking to people, it's very therapeutic for me. And that has helped me honor his memory and heal at the same time.
I'll bet it is. And I bet that you feel closer to your father when you're doing that podcast, don't you?
I do. It does make me feel closer to him because I knew his technique and I know how he used to speak to people publicly. And so when I'm public speaking, I do in essence feel like I'm walking in his gift.
Yeah, that's something special indeed. What advice do you have to other people that are going through something like what you've gone through, somebody that's lost somebody to suicide?
If you have lost someone to suicide, my greatest takeaway lesson, I would say to do something to honor that person's memory, because in doing so, it will help you heal and it will help you keep their memory alive. And it doesn't have to be anything major. If this person loved, let's say apple pie was their favorite dessert, start making apple pies and give them to people as an act of kindness. If the person loved basketball, start watching more basketball. Just whatever you can do within your own circle to honor that person's memory, it helps. It really does.
Of course, this has been such a difficult period these last couple of years with the pandemic. It's separated a lot of people. It's isolated people, and really caused concern for the mental well-being of a lot of people too. And so that makes this work even more important than ever, doesn't it?
It does make it more important. I know my dad's funeral was on a Sunday, and 3 days later, we went right into the lockdown for the COVID-19 crisis. So it's been a very difficult time for a lot of people, and just know that you're not alone, and no matter what you're going through, reach out to people, connect with others. You can do it virtually. You can make a phone call. You don't have to necessarily be in the same room with the person in order to make a connection, but just keep those connections going, because isolation is one of the early warning signs for a person to go into depression.
You mentioned that that's one of the things you'll be talking about this weekend at Kevin's Song is some of the warning signs to look for somebody who may be concerned about somebody in their life. What are some of those warning signs, and what should somebody do to intervene if they're concerned about somebody?
Okay, well, a few of the warning signs would be isolation, not wanting to participate in the things that you usually see the person enjoying, anger, sleeping a lot, loss of appetite, drinking more, indulging in more alcohol, missing work, just a change in their behavior. And you know the person around you, so just know that if there is something different or if there's something off with them, talk to them about it. Don't be afraid to approach the person and directly ask them, are you okay? Are you having thoughts of harming yourself? And if they say yes, don't judge them. Don't go into criticizing them or trying to correct their thought process. Reach more in and try to make empathy and compassion with them. And if you do feel that the person is really contemplating hurting themselves, I would definitely seek medical attention for them. Don't be afraid to call 911. If they're suicidal, don't be afraid to make the call, because you'd rather be wrong than ignore the signs.
Yeah, great advice. This weekend, as I said, it's the largest suicide conference in Michigan, Kevin's Song, and you'll be participating, LaToya, in the Saturday Survivor program. How does somebody go about finding out more about the conference and registering for it?
Okay, if you want to know more about the conference, you can go to the website, kevinssong.org. That's Kevin's, KevinsSong.org, kevinssong.org. And I would like to just give a big thank you to Gail. Gail is the founder of Kevin's Song, and she has opened the door for me to be a part of her mission. And her son passed away by suicide, and I'm very grateful for her and her husband.
All right, LaToya, thanks for sharing with us. Really appreciate it very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul.
Take care. Bye-bye.